A couple of weeks ago, I went camping. I can't stand camping. On that trip, I recorded a ton of sounds so I can essentially use them as samples and make a track out of it. Today, I revealed that track. I'm going to show you what I did. I'm going to let you hear the samples before I manipulate them, and then after I manipulate them, and then you'll hear the beat. Let's go! Now, first things first, I'm going to go through the sounds that I recorded so you can hear them pre-processing. This first sample is me recording the water coming in and out of the lake. You hear some voices in the back, and later on you'll notice in the track I ended up using those voices even though they weren't supposed to be there. Here's the sound. I ended up narrowing that sound down to 3 different parts. I recorded the water, I recorded the first statement, and I recorded the second statement of the vocal. All right, next sound, basic crackling of the fire. For this sound, I didn't want vocals in it, so I took a small portion of the crackling and edited out the portion that had vocals. The third sound was, while chopping wood, I wanted to get the sound of the wood to possibly use as a snare within the track. Sounds like this. Simple enough. Next sound, me walking through the rocks. Now, if you notice, that almost has a tempo to it. I'm going to use that to my advantage. Next sound is what you heard in the beginning of the video. A rock being thrown and then splashing in the water. For my second to last sound, I heard a unique bird that was making its call. Obviously, you can't get too close to a bird in the wild. They end up flying away. So I had to try to capture the sound from a distance, but here it is. All right, and for our last sound, it's the sound of me riding a quad. You just literally hear the noise of the quad. All right, now let's lay them out in the track, see what we can get. So not to completely bore you with watching me go through every single sample and chop it up, I went ahead and moved forward. I chopped up all the different samples, and I'll just play you what I have instead of you being bored to death watching me do it. Here we go. We got this first sample, water flowing in. Second sample, all right, wood being chopped. It's a little interesting. I like it kind of has a rhythm to it. Third sample. The fire, so you can hear if you listen closely, you can get rhythm out of anything. Next sample. All right, so we got water. All right, we got a rock being thrown into the water. Different rock being thrown into the water. Stepping through rocks. Bird sample. More steps. Quad. Two vocals, and I think that's it. The rest of these are probably throwaways. So the next step is to take these samples and then process them into something else. All right, so this sample, I think I'm going to use as a snare or hit. Here, I'll let you see what it sounds like. So the beat would be like. Turn it down. I'm going to turn the compressor on. hear that bass lead? Now I want to add a little reverb to it. All right. So now we already have the start of a beat. Let's go next to what would be the kick drum. I think that was this one. Yeah. I'm going to use the wood chopping as my kick drum. So let's copy that and we'll place it in a few spots. All right, so there's two options I can do here. I can either time stretch it to make it fit the tempo of the track, or I can shorten it up to clean it up. But let's work on turning it into a kick drum first. Hear that change? All right, there's a slight delay before it, and I'm going to fix that. Much better. So we're going to move on. I think next I want to work on the shaker. Oh, there's the bird. There we go. All right. We're going to make this a little more efficient of a sound. So that easily, we've turned that into a shaker noise. All right, so we have a shaker. I think I might actually reverse the second one, change the dynamic of it. There we go. Now let's copy these. All right, so let's clean up the kick drum, also known as wood chopping. So I'm going to EQ it. So first, I'm going to shorten it. I like that it has that rhythm, but I'm going to shorten it and make it more simple. Okay, sounds like we're actually getting the main part of the sound from here. So we're actually now let's see what we got. And that's simple. We've already started a beat. We've already created a rhythm here. Now, let's actually turn that more into a bass sound by EQing it. Let's work on the splash sound. Okay. All right. So now I'm gonna change these kick drums up a little bit so they're not so basic. That's a little better. Now, to not make this video an hour long, I'm just going to work on the quad sound to show you how I'm going to turn that into something more musical than just a loud quad noise. Turn it down, it's pretty loud. So, first of all, I'm going to shorten it. Then, we're going to add effects to it. So for this effect, I'm going to use maybe a guitar effect. So let's see what we get. Ah, okay. All right, let's go back to, which one was it? Move the mics. You just want to play around with your EQ a little bit until you get the sound that you want. Play around with your effects. So as you can notice, that sounds less like a quad and a little more like some sort of rock or metal instrument. So now I'm going to play around with those and I'll show you what I got in just a minute. So I have gone through, messed around with what I'm calling the shakers, what I'm calling, the snare, what I'm calling the kick drum, which are actually just sounds that I took from nature. It was a few short minutes and I've gotten to where I want to be. Now, I added a few effects here and there. I also added a track of a choir. I tested out an actual bass drum here. But I ended up just going with the wood chop. And now I'm ready to play you what I got. This is what I've done to the fire. I time stretched it, gave it this digital sound, and made it fit the tempo of the song. There's our shakers. Water teetering in and out. That's our bird sound. Took our steps, put them on beat. Our wood chop has been turned into a kick drum. And there we go. I'm saving my favorite part for last, which is what we've done with the quad sounds here. They sound a lot like a bass and a guitar in a amp using a crunch effect. For the second track, I created a second track and transposed it by 12 octaves. And this is the track that we get. Hopefully you enjoyed that as much as I enjoyed making it. It was fun. It's not typically a track that I would actually record vocals over. I'm not going to rap on that. I'm not going to sing on that, but it was fun to make. Keeps my skills sharp. It's good to keep producing tracks even though you may not use them. It's what producers call throwaway tracks. The more and more throwaway tracks that you can make, the better that you get at producing. This particular track put me on point with sampling again and chopping up samples and manipulating sounds. It's something that I don't do a whole lot. I like to produce tracks from instruments. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, watch some other videos, hit that bell, like it, leave a comment, tell me what you want to see. See you next time. Thanks for watching. Keep producing.